Hello, everyone. Welcome to Get Folked. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Get Folked, a podcast anchored in our love of folk music, but with enough slack in the line to wander into the worlds of Ed, myself, and beyond. My name is Andrew.
That was really nice, Andy. I have some follow-up questions after my intro, and I am Ed Tabata Brophy. Thanks for tuning in. And as always, you can catch all of the Get Folked podcast episodes as you can every week on Substack, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube. And you can follow us on Instagram and Facebook. As a middle-aged man might earnestly attempt to follow a strict and somewhat demeaning gym routine as a means to delay any depressing contemplations about his own mortality and the ultimate futility of his life. Welcome to the Get Folked podcast.
I have some follow-up questions after you have followed up on my questions.
So, you're in a different place, Andy. You're physically. We'll get to your mental state in a minute, but you're physically in a different space. I can see.
Physically, but I think physically is affecting the because I'm not in what you would call. We joked about how I had created my dream scenario when in fact it's probably not. But I think it's thrown me. I think it's thrown me for one.
It looks like for people who aren't watching this on YouTube or can't see what I can see. So it's a very small room. Andy's using a wide angle lens, so it's kind of deceptively looks bigger than possibly I'd say it is. I think it's the utility room, but also could be a toilet. I'm possibly on the cistern of a toilet right now. The camera, I'm not sure. Can you confirm or deny that?
No, there is a toilet on the other side of that wall, I believe. But no toilet here.
Okay. That's well. I wouldn't have minded. I thought if I was on the cistern of the toilet and you were somehow sitting like reverse on the toilet, like facing the cistern, that would also be an interesting way to do the podcast this week.
There's no end to what can happen, Ed. Stick around, everyone. You never know.
I think lateral thinking, I think is what they call that.
It did seem like the reason I am here though is because I am on holidays, and it's the only room that kind of is the perfect distance away from my kids' room that I can talk openly, and they'll be asleep by the time this ends recording, and I can then continue to enjoy my night and not have to worry about them. So yeah, and it's also the most comfortable. Actually, we really lucked out. This is heaven. This is the main room, the main bedroom as well. Actually, it's all.
That's the main bedroom that we're looking at. That we're looking at right now. The one with the washing machine in it.
No, I jest.
Okay.
Cheers.
I did like that. What are you drinking? You're drinking a drink.
I am. I'm drinking. I saw this in a show. So I'm in a town called La Bresse, and it's somewhere like in the southeast, I think, of France. And we're here for kind of Easter holiday, and so we rented a house or an apartment or Airbnb. And so I bought. We were in the shop yesterday, and I bought this because it's a French stout, but it says Stout Irlandais, which is kind of, but it's done. The name of the drink is Roman Mystérieux. Roman Mystérieux. I don't think that's
mysterious homo. Mysterious homo stout.
It's homo, so it's like mount is mountain. So I was thinking like whole mountain. Mysterious whole mountain. So yeah,
mysterious whole mountain.
So there's I'll put it up there so you can prove the reading of it yourself, and you can believe the And then there's a weird lights on in a barn kind of a death kind of. I don't know how well you can
Yeah.
see any of that.
I can't see any of it, but look, don't worry about it. I'll tell you what I'm going to do after the show. I'm just going to Google mysterious hole mountain and I think I'll find out from there. If and if that doesn't work, I'll just Google homo stout, stout homo. You sometimes you have to play around with the words. I'll just Google stout homo. I think I'll find what you're talking about there. I think it'll
You
all
can
work
buy it
out.
in all major stores and most corner shops.
Nice.
Yeah, so
is it nice? Does it pass the taste test?
It's actually not too bad. Yeah, it's sweet. It's quite sweet, and I can't really because I'm trying to pour it from. Again, the setup is all
Is that
wrong, so I'm pouring. That's the head. Yeah, that's
Jesus, Andy?
I'm but then I have nothing to hold the microphone. You see, so it's very very
Yeah.
different to my usual setup. But again, I'm I'm making do. You're actually on a tumble dryer, is what you are actually on it. That's what. And the washing machine to my right, and whatever, some sort of stack of like steam iron, I guess, over there. A few mop heads. Your standard Airbnb stuff.
Bedroom.
It's a tiny bed. My kids are asleep down there. That's the best place they could get. So, shh.
Do you know what you need? You need a nitro surge for that. You need a nitro surge to pour that properly.
I did think about the nitro surge. Yeah, it's hard not to now. I'm thinking of stout and just wondering what you went through, what you experienced.
It was heaven. It was just heaven, man. And so okay, so nice. You're on holidays. That's lovely. Really nice. And
very very nice. It's it's beautiful. It's like down in we visited a mutual friend of ours for a couple of days, and wandered around there in where is he from? Terville. It's hard. I don't ever mean to be taking the piss, but sometimes I just say things in a French accent around him. I think we've always done that.
And in fairness, we have. He's used to it by now.
Or in our attempt, even my attempt to speak French with his either his kids or just it's like always never. I guess it's good to. Well, it is. Of course, it's good. You need to embrace the accent and not try to be Irish speaking French, because it doesn't work. So you, in your experience speaking to his kids who are similar age to our own children, in your experience speaking to them in English but using a French accent, as if you were a French person in Ireland speaking English, you find that's better than speaking with an Irish accent in English. Is that what you're saying? That just happens. That's a knee-jerk reaction. I'm not saying that's better, but that's what happens automatically. It's a reflex. The attempts to speak French in a French accent, I think, is warranted, even though it sounds ridiculous as well, because my French is so bad that I get more stares at them than a lot of things. Very, 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 very few things remain there for 7 years of French, and that's no slight on my teachers. That's just me. That's all.
They would not, if they were listening to this, they would not have taken it as a slight, like at all. They would have been like, well, yeah. They would have been totally understanding of that. But what was I going to say to you? That our mutual friend, speaking of French, so you did French, so you kind of know how to pronounce words when they're spelt in front of you and stuff like that. You kind of know that stuff, I guess, right?
Yeah, I have basic understanding of it. Yeah.
Okay, so if you were to read something, even if you didn't know how it meant, you could at least make it sound plausibly correct. Is that right?
Yes, I'd be confident of that. Like if you wanted me to read it, the bottle, for example.
Yeah. Can I tell you something that happened with our mutual friend? And I'm just going to name him. His name is Ronan. He's a great guy, and he's got a nice quirky sense of humor. And in order to stimulate that quirky sense of humor, one evening at like a social event, he got me found a French book in an apartment that we were kind of all hanging out in with our group of friends, and he got me to read a paragraph from it, knowing that I can't speak French, never could speak French, never studied French, just to laugh at me. Nobody else was laughing, but he was holding his stomach. He found it so funny at how badly I was pronouncing the French. And this is a nice person. So my French is definitely worse than yours. I would definitely wander into the whole speaking English but with a French accent. Hello, little boy. Oh, you have gotten so big since I saw you last. something like that.
You sound like the big bad wolf or some French big bad wolf. You got to be.
I assume you are going to grandmother's house.
See, this is what it ends up being. The kids are just staring at me.
Very good,
yeah,
very good.
It's
before.
Go on.
Sorry, before we go back to your travels, do you mind if I just reference a few things about last week's show?
Yes. I don't
mind.
Sorry, I don't mind.
Okay. So
I will attempt to pour some more stout into this glass.
Channel the nitro surge. So a few things about the podcast in general. Actually, sorry. Before we do that, have you anything to promote? Anything coming up for music wise for you?
3rd of May, something is coming up in near Friedrichstrasse. That Italian group are running a festival, but I'm not sure. And then the one that was later like we're supposed to do one on the 6th of May, but I can't do that now. The bar can't accommodate us, so later date should be announced.
Okay, so did you say the 3rd of May? So is your next gig? Yes, thumbs up. Okay. I just sorry. What's the details of the address on that? Just in case anyone wants to know, Andy.
I don't know myself, so I'm trying to pour this drink, and you said you had shit to say, and suddenly it's all about fucking what I have to say. I have not.
I didn't say this is the perfect system. I didn't say I had it worked out perfectly.
If anyone's watching the video now, I'm holding 3 things now at the same time: my bottle, my glass, and my microphone. All because Ed wants me to tell. I do not know the address of where this gig is happening. It'll happen on the 3rd of May, and I'll tell everyone maybe next week, or not maybe. I definitely will. I don't mean to tease anyone out there. Maybe I will. Maybe I won't. I don't know.
Well, maybe you just have to find us. Follow the music. Root us out like a truffle pig might root out a truffle.
Go you for about last
French thing. Okay. I'm just going to talk. So while you butcher the pouring of like whatever that stout is. Anyway, so last week's podcast, a strange thing happened when we went to publish it. We publish, as we reference every week, to a platform called Substack, which I really like. I really like Substack and kind of some of the features on it and whatever. But they did a strange thing whereby they limited our uploads to an hour in length. So, which meant we'd already recorded, not knowing this. It was only when we went to upload it. So we had to cut it down from, I think it was 1:10 down to, or an hour and 10 down to, I think 59 minutes or something like that. So going forward, we have to limit our episodes basically to an hour, because to be honest, at first I was kind of annoyed, but then I was kind of actually, you know what, it kind of could be good that we are a bit more economical with what we talk about and how we speak and things like that. Not that you know that from listening to the first 15 minutes of this podcast, we've rambled like madmen through every sort of nonsense. But so just going forward, I guess, to everybody, we're going to try limit to under an hour to make things easier for ourselves more than anything else. And also, I think it might be good for the podcast as well. I don't know if you have anything else to add to that, Andy.
Well, I just like the idea. Substack is our manager now, and it's like it's made some calls, and we're like, we're not big fans of that, but okay, yeah, all right, we're willing to we're willing to adhere to your calls, so, because we do love Substack, and find us on Substack. We're on Substack. Someone laughed at us once. I think we referenced it before, and they're not laughing anymore now. Not no. Substack is booming all over the place.
It's exploded. Do you know who else on Substack? As we mentioned, Pamela Anderson's on Substack.
Yep. Did we shout out to her yet, or are we saving that?
We're saving that. That's our ace in the hole for when
we need it.
When we're really down and out. Things get really desperate, Andy. For the episode.
No, don't be hard. I recently watched an episode of Baywatch, the original series, to remind myself what it was like to be.
Wait, how did you interpret what I said for when we're really desperate there? Because I think maybe when you said "oh," I think that's not really the reaction I would expect from that
When
comment. So I think you misinterpreted what I was saying
maybe
there.
I did. Maybe I did. You said we're really desperate, and I was like, "Oh, poor Pamela. Why are you being such a dick to Pam?"
No, yeah, you picked me up wrong there. What I mean is that would be such a big get for us. It'd be like a one-time opportunity that we should only use that when we're really desperate. That's what I meant.
Okay,
So it's a compliment to Pamela Anderson.
love you, Pamela.
Come
Go
on the
on.
show. Sam Harris is on Substack. Anyway, look, we only have an hour, so let's not talk like this. Let's not talk like we have an hour and 15 minutes.
Okay,
We've got an hour. So basically, Substack.
What would you?
Substack contacted us and said, basically, lads, pared back.
We love what you do. Okay, we fucking
Yeah.
love that
Trim.
shit. Keep
Yeah.
it going.
Just-
All right, keep talking. Keep saying
Yeah,
things, and we'll.
just 15 minutes, 15-minute less of things. That's all. That's all we ask. Anyway, so yeah, going forward. Also, last week I really enjoyed our deep dive into the lyrics of a song. I think that's a really nice thing to do, and I think something we should do again in the future, or whenever. Well, obviously in the future, we're not going to do it in the past, but you know what I mean. We should do it again. Is what I'm saying. So, what a stupid statement. We should do that in the future.
Can we get a go? Or should we? Should we get back to? I feel like, how do you get back to the show? I'm like, oh wait, no, this is the show. It felt like you did. You were kind of wanting to do, but you wanted to do. This is housekeeping. It felt
It is
like
kind of
you
housekeeping.
wanted to. Well, bullshit.
I
That's
wanted
fucking
to
bullshit.
avoid. Yeah, I wanted to avoid this. This is why I.
Bullshit. Fucking bullshit. I should play the full thing because you deserve that. No.
I tried to like sneak in like a sleeper cell of housekeeping. I tried to like launch my sleeper cell of housekeeping without getting the housekeeping jingle thrown at me. Sorry about that. Nearly worked. Nearly worked. You picked up on it though. That stout hasn't worked its magic yet.
Wait a minute.
Those women were in the nip.
So any more housekeeping?
This isn't housekeeping. This is more of a confession. I like I said, I really enjoyed the deep dive into lyrics, but I have to be honest. Like, I'm not a huge fan of Christy Moore. If I'm perfectly honest, I don't really like his stuff. I listened to the song, the Reel and the Flicker and Light, but I'm just not a fan of Christy. I think I'm maybe among a few Irish people that feels that way. Maybe, I don't know.
That's okay, Ed. You're allowed to be different. And yeah. I like that song. And when I was younger, I used to sing a lot of the the Joxer Goes to Stuttgart and kind of all of his long songs, the Knock song or Knock Airport or whatever. But over time, I guess I listen to it less and less. But I don't know, that song. I love singing it with kids. I think that's what draws me to it. And he does a nice version of it. But yeah. But what was I going to say?
I think I saw him wearing a funny hat once, and that's what kind of put me off him.
Well, how funny was this hat?
Not funny, ha. It was like a knobby hat. It was like a something like you see somebody wearing a hat, and you kind of go, oh, that's kind of knobby. And I think I just lost love from there. I know it's a very superficial way of viewing things, but that's kind of what happened.
Okay.
And it kind of tied in with a lot of things I was starting to kind of maybe think about with some of his songs and things like that. I was like, and then I saw him exactly. Let's seal the deal.
What do you mean by the songs though? Like, so like separating whatever you think about the person from the art, what do you mean by the songs? What are the problem with the songs? Storytelling, the way.
Okay, there's a couple of like, you know that song, The Voyage?
Okay, but that's okay. But you pick a song you like. Is there a song you like?
Song I like.
I get those cheesy songs, but he's written a lot of songs.
I like Don't Forget Your Shovel.
Yes,
I like that song.
Great song.
I
What about
like,
that live album? But you don't like Joxer Goes to Stuttgart? Even at one point in your life, you're
yeah,
saying that, and you're like,
I
this
do.
is
No, I
just such
do.
a great
I do.
tune.
And I also like, is it called Viva la Quinta
Let
Brigada?
us all remember them tonight.
But it's kind of cheesy as well. I don't know. There's something, I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. Don't
I
know.
don't know. I think there's a lot of good stuff. I know. Yeah, whatever. You kind of see someone or see someone wearing a hat, and you're like, fuck them as well. And
Just
it's hard. It's hard to get past the hat.
people have to be a bit more careful about the hats that they wear. That's all I'm saying. Just it's not nothing. Just don't
It's
put
not
on a
nothing.
hat and go, this is just a hat. It's not. Like, just be careful. Or I might not like you.
End of career. That's your end of your career right there,
Well,
Christy. It's all, it's done now.
actually,
You can pack it in.
yeah, it has no impact on him whatsoever. But still, but I'm telling you, right? Someone's listening to this and they're going, "I know the hat he's talking about." I guarantee you, because
Really?
it was a weird hat. I think so. Anyway, I feel like I'm shitting all over Christy a bit too much. I think, yeah, I think there's parts of him I like, but I don't. But like, some people love him, and I suppose I'm not up there in the loving of it.
Yeah, yeah. He does. He does have a Bruce Springsteen kind of following, which is so you start shitting all over Bruce Springsteen.
No, because Bruce Springsteen's never worn an Abbey hat, actually, to my knowledge. So he's
Come
good.
here.
He's good.
How was your session? You had the Thursday night session on last night. How did
Lovely.
that go?
It was really nice. It was there was a few people weren't able to make it, so I think I mentioned before there's another singer. There's two of us that sing in the session usually, and the other singer wasn't there, along with the tin whistle player, who's like, I mean, all these people are like big losses, and there's a guitar player wasn't able to make it, and also who else? I think that was it. But then there was really good banjo players and a really good concertina player, fiddle player, and myself. So we had a good old hoolie. But it just means I have to sing a few more songs, and I like to sit back and enjoy these things. It was a bit, I have to kind of sing a bit more than I normally would,
Becomes
which
a
is
little
fine.
bit closer to a gig, which is, I'm not saying it's at all like a gig.
Little
but
bit. Little bit, yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, but so it's great. I really enjoy it. I love the Westward Ho. I love the session there. People are really cool, so I love going over there. It's really nice, and like, they're very forgiving. Let's say in terms of your songs, I could pick some, like, try some weird songs. I think there was one song there that I fucked up so badly. It was like, what was it? The Foggy Dew, and I made a total hash for the first time I tried to play it. And there was kind of polite applause afterwards, and then one of the guys come up to me and he just goes, a lot of words in that song, a lot of words in that song. That was the closest to. Do you know what I mean? He couldn't shit all. He didn't want to shit all over it, but he also couldn't bring himself to give me a full compliment. But he just stated a fact. You know what I mean? To fill the void.
No. He was forgiving you. He was forgiving you for that. That's there is a lot of words in that songs, but I forgive you for what you just did to me. And then he just looked at you.
I pardon you.
There was no false respect. That's Irish.
Yeah, and there was another song I tried to sing, Desperado. I tried to sing Desperado once.
God, you tried to sing that last night?
Not last night. No. Before. This is before. Every so often I'll try to throw out a weird song that I've tried to learn, and sometimes it'll work, and then sometimes it'll fall flat in its face. But this is the perfect session to do that, because everyone's so, like, you can try whatever you want, basically, like. And I mean, we've spoken about nipple tassels. I think I'd get away with nipple tassels there, trying to work out that into the show. They're that level of forgiving, and you can try whatever you want. Desperado, by the way, did not go well at all.
No, it was the nipple tassels.
They just got caught in the guitar strings, and just all this fucking mess. The blood. Oh my God, the blood. It's like that elevator scene in that Stanley Kubrick movie. What's the one with Jack Nicholson? The elevator's open and the blood all just pours out. What's that called?
The
Shining.
Shining.
Yeah, that may not have happened, but the session was really good last night, and some lovely music, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Lovely,
Nice.
but I've no
Oh yeah.
recordings. Sorry.
So that's why I'm going to jump in here, because we are hitting the shit hard this week, and going direct to the point. No more
Yeah,
messing around.
no more arsing around. No more
As
beating
I
around the bush.
as I said,
No more pointless words. No more talking nonsense. No more of this rambling, babbling, excessive use of terms and phraseology. No,
filler,
we're going to
filler,
stop all that.
filler, y'all, filler, y'all. Yeah, no more filler. No, as I said, we were in France, or I am France with my family, and we did visit a mutual friend of ours who I asked a couple of years ago. He made a recording of a famous song en français. He did it, and there you go. I just snuck that in there without even knowing it. That's the kind of.
Fucking hell. Get that guy a knobby hat. Jesus Christ.
And yeah, well, what was it for your like 30th birthday or something, or some random
Think
birthday,
so.
or was it?
I'm not sure if it was my 30th, but it was definitely my birthday. I'm not sure which one though.
So and as Ed said, this is the same guy who got him to read a French paragraph and just laughed out loud at. You can imagine, if you don't study French. For those of you who haven't studied French or know nothing about it, or those of you who do know that, like, it has a funny way of turning words sound different if you're trying to phonetically sound them out, which I'm sure that's what Ed was doing. And what
That's
Ronan
in front of other
found.
people. In front of other, it wasn't just me and him. It was like other people.
But he's an amazing musician himself, and he and just likes messing around with music. And he did this like years and years ago, and I've asked him, can I play it on the podcast? Go on.
Sorry, Andy. Sorry, just before you play it, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but can you tell the story about the first time you met him?
Oh,
do you mind telling that? If you don't want that, that's fine. But I think it's such a perfect story. I think. You know.
Well, yeah. So okay. So Ronan, we all kind of, I don't know this. Yeah, it was like in 2010, and around that time, and yeah, we were playing a gig in a bar in London, Streatham, called the White Line, and for some reason, just a gathering of musicians just came that didn't really know each other, but we were all going to play a gig at this pretty nice venue, and we said we just throw it all together on the night. And Ronan was one of those people. He was playing the clarinet, or was he on the guitar? Or was he on the clarinet? I can't remember.
He was on the guitar for some songs, but I think he had the clarinet, I think, as well, but I can't really remember. But he was definitely playing guitar, because that's where this story comes from.
So oh, that's right. And then yeah, so basically I needed to show him what the songs were, and our songs are pretty even to this day, but back then it was even more basic of GCD kind of progression, and didn't know that Ronan had studied music and practiced music for so long, and he was so polite the whole time. He just listened to me like he was an idiot trying to figure out G, C, and D, and D, G, A, and all these kind of very basic things that guitar players know. And he listened to me very, very patiently throughout the entire thing and explaining that. And it was yeah, but he never once took the piss, or never. But that's the thing. Like for years to come, he will take the piss, and he learned to. But for that, he just listened and listened. And then I heard him later on that night, like 2 or 3 in the morning, and he picked up the guitar and he played Bohemian Rhapsody note for note, like every sting, ding 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 ding. I was just, that's a terrible. Even now, I can't even voice what he did. But yeah, that's how I met Ronan. Is that what you were? Would you were? Did I leave out parts?
I just remember. Yeah, no, I just remember being in the back courtyard of the pub during the day preparing for the gig, and we were all sitting around. And I just remember you were going. We were doing some song. I think it was mates when you're young or something like that, and you were like going, okay, now you go from G, now you go to C, now back to G, and back to C, back to G, and C again, and this one, and now it goes from C to D. Now that's a change there. That's a different it's a different chord from C to D there, and then back to G, on and on like this. And I knew Ronan, but I was like, this is in my head. I was like, oh, no, this is probably good, to kind of introduce him. But yeah, the Bohemian Rhapsody solo. It was a solo on the guitar. The entire Bohemian Rhapsody song is the only time I've ever seen anyone do it before or since. And
Note for note,
yeah,
never strummed the
note for
guitar
note.
once. Just played the entire thing. Yeah, but yeah. So
That was
this
a bit of a
same guy.
face. Yeah, that was a face palm moment for you. I think when you saw that, you're flashbacks. Oh,
It's absolutely. But I think we were all so nervous about because there was so many of us on that stage that night as well. Like there was, it was like 11 or 12 of us just.
yeah, it's very
Of
nice though.
it was very, very nice. Yeah, a great weekend. But anyway, sorry. Another time we'll go deeper into that one. The White Line will be an episode if it hasn't been already. But Ronan wrote this song for Ed. It's called Le Whisky dans l'ailleurs. Dans l'ailleurs. As Eddie would say it, Le Whisky dans la Jarre. Jarre.
That's exactly how I would pronounce it if I was
And
to read it.
I'm gonna play it in its entirety, and I think I don't know. I have to play it in its entirety, and I listened to this for the first time in a long time at Ronan's place 2 days ago, and it just brought me back 10 years to just like remembering the first time I heard it. I'm going, I forgot this. Oh my! And the man he's just big shout out to him. He's such a talented guy, and I'm going to add his Bandcamp kind of stuff as well. He's trying to get one song every 3 years. He said is his new thing. It's his new target. But yeah, he as a birthday present, he put together this wonderful piece. I don't know. Yeah, this is Ronan, Le Whisky dans le Jarre.
And now we will be hearing the first movement of the Symphony for a Beard, from Edward Sebastian Bach. He composed this masterpiece at the age of 2.5 years, as he was already blind and deaf. It is only 1 month later that he tragically died of syphilis. Here it comes, Edward Sebastian Bach, Symphony for a Moustache. The interpretation we will be soon listening to was recorded in a certain year by using solely one finger. Let us now hear the symphony from Edward Sebastian Bach. In this piece, Edward completely changed his view of the music and decided not to use this really small kind of guitar with which he had signed all of his early works. Let us now hear the symphony from Edward Sebastian Bach. Let us now hear the symphony from Edward Sebastian Bach. Let us now hear the symphony from Edward Sebastian Bach. Let us now hear the symphony from Edward Sebastian Bach. Let us now hear the symphony from Edward Sebastian Bach. Here it comes. Edward Sebastian Bach, Symphony for a Pubic Hair.
Alors que je me trouvais dans les montagnes de Kerry, je tombe sur le capitaine Farrell qui comptait son argenterie. Je sors mon pistolet, puis je sors ma rapière. Je lui dis la bourse sous la vie, je suis pas ton commissionnaire. Mes charines du mado damada. Wack Falls daddy-o, Wack Falls daddy-o, y a du whisky dans la gère. J'ai compté sa monnaie et le coup était réussi. J'ai mis ça dans ma poche et je l'ai ramené à ma Jenny. Elle a juré qu'elle m'aimait et ne me trahirait jamais. Mais au diable les femmes car elles mentent tout à souhait. Moucharing de Mado Damada. Wack Falls daddy-o, Wack Falls daddy-o, y a du whisky dans la gère. Je suis monté dans ma chambre, histoire de faire un somme. J'ai rêvé d'or et de bijoux, et ça ne surprend personne. Mais Jenny en a profité pour remplir d'eau mes cartouches et dire au Capitaine Farrell qu'il vienne prendre sa touche. Moucharing damadou damada. Wack Falls daddy-o, Wack Falls daddy-o, y a du whisky dans la jarre. Tôt le lendemain matin, alors que je m'apprête à partir, arrive le Capitaine Farrell accompagné de ses sbires. Je dégaine mon pistolet car elle m'avait pris mon épée, mais avec des cartouches trempées, je fus vite fait prisonnier. Moucharing damadou damada, damadou damada, damadou damada, damadou damada, damadou damada, damadou. Y'a du profit dans la jarre, damadou damada, damadou damada. S'il y en a un qui peut m'aider, c'est mon frère militaire. Mais à Cork ou à Killarney, faut que je trouve son headquarter. Ensemble on irait bourlinguer sur les montagnes de Kilkenny. Comparé à ma Jenny, ce sera meilleure compagnie. Moucharing damadou damadam. Wack Falls daddy-o, Wack Falls daddy-o, y a du Eddie dans la jarre. Moucharing damadou damadam. Wack Falls daddy-o, Wack Falls daddy-o, y a du Eddie dans la jarre.
Oh God, I don't think it will.
I'm so glad I had the microphone turned off for that song. Oh my God, I was laughing so much. I forgot so much of that song. Fucking hell, he's so good. Like, that is unbelievably good.
What a present. What I like. I think, were you in Berlin at the time when you got that? Can you remember?
I think.
I feel like
I think I was. Yeah.
I feel like we were hanging around together and we heard that first time and we're just in stitches. It's just, yeah. So I guess that was another tip of the hat to the GCD model, and just run on, just taking it to another level. Amazing.
God, what a talented guy. Just unbelievable. And I'd love to, I must give him a call because we haven't spoken in a while. Sorry, Ronan, if you're listening to this, about that. But yeah, I like his music is excellent as well. Like his I didn't actually know he had a Bandcamp. That's how bad a friend I am. But I didn't know he had a Bandcamp.
Well, I'm also not that great a friend because I had to write him a message saying, can you send me your Bandcamp address? And he hasn't got back to me yet, so I can't actually share it if it doesn't come out within the next 2 days. So it's going to be a false. We'll find out in 2 days whether Ronan gets back to messages or not.
Okay. So. Well, that was a real treat. That was a real treat. Jesus Christ! And the fact that we only have an hour and we played that in full, I think speaks volumes.
Yeah.
I'd forgotten all about the preamble at the start, about the introduction.
Edward Sebastian Bach. What did he composed it so at 2.5 years old, blind and deaf.
And died 2 months later. Syphilis.
Just playing on a little guitar from his earlier stuff. He was 2.5 years old. His earlier stuff. It all tied together so beautifully on the tiny guitar.
Yeah. It sounds like a Monty Python sketch, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I don't know. I hope that translates to other people. Like even if you don't know the man, it's just like the wackiness of the humor is just fucking brilliant. But you the Whiskey in the Jar song. If we did want to analyze, I think our song, like, do you know much about that song? Do you know who Captain Farrell
No,
was?
no, I didn't know. I didn't even know he was a real figure. Was he a real dude?
I don't. This is where we're at with the. So it says it was released by the Dubliners. Actually, released it. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, I didn't know. I
Released in
thought it
19.
predated them.
It says here released 1967. Artist the Dubliners. From the album More of the
Let's
Hard
do.
Stuff.
We should probably do a bit more research onto that because for some reason I think that I thought that predated them, but I might be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, let's see.
So we're not. We can't go into that now. No, even though I have done zero preparation for it.
I feel like it's going to be a lot of us going and googling and not knowing and maybe being unsure. And we'll double check that and having to do the all what you call it housekeeping next week anyway about it. And it'd be hard for me to sneak in the housekeeping next week. It'd be even harder again. I mean, you're so good at detecting it that I'll have to. I don't know how I'll wrap that one up. But yeah. Brilliant. I don't know what to say after listening to that song. I kind of forgotten how good it was. I love all the beatboxing and like the harmonies. The harmonies just with wee.
Wasn't he? It wasn't like and like I feel like this is going to turn into a run-on love fest if I start talking about the time he dressed up as a priest and just like with how that's my favorite picture of a priest ever. It's just run on as a priest.
Yeah, which just goes to show you don't have to be an ordained priest to be somebody's favorite picture of a priest. If that lesson was ever needed, it's now been learned. Is that what we're saying?
I believe so. Yeah.
Well, anyway, look, let's put a full stop on it. We'll move on to the next subject because I do feel that gravitational pull towards let's talk about how awesome one guy is that we know that nobody else knows. And let's just say, right, we're going to promote his stuff. We're going to tell you all about his stuff. And you can find him and find out how awesome he is yourselves, listeners. So he is awesome and a very nice, very funny dude and very talented. And that's it. That's all I have to say about that. But don't ever make me speak French again. Run on. That haunts me still. So yeah, how's the rest of your week been? Have you noted? You sent me a picture of you guys hiking. Ugh, Andy, yuck.
I didn't send you any jack shit. What do you mean?
No, but Pauline did.
So don't give out to me.
What I mean is, you guys were hiking on your holidays.
Yeah, it's very nice here, man. It's pretty cool. It's like La Bresse is this kind of town in the middle of a valley, so it's like the entire place is surrounded by mountains, and the weather has been pretty okay. So yeah, we were out wandering around in the trails today. We were like 16 kilometers total. We up and down hills. In fairness to the lads, they did very well. They because the final getting home is just like we were kind of up the side of one mountain. So I don't know if they're mountains or hills. I'm gonna call them mountains. And so they made it up that. But yeah, so it's pretty nice. It's very, very nice here.
Andy, did you say you walked 16 kilometers today?
We did.
That fucking sounds like a Napoleonic era forced march, man. That is way too many kilometers.
It definitely I think that's the thing about hiking though. It's like it does feel like you're pushing against the pain in your own body, but it's kind of nice as well. It's kind of funny because we do talk a lot of Lord of the Rings, which I'm really enjoying. So that's like because on the way down, like if I have to go back, like on the way down, we downloaded the Hobbit.
Cool. Not cool. I don't like the Hobbit. Sorry.
Even the book you didn't like.
Oh, The Hobbit. I love the book. The Hobbit. I love the book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, Jesus Christ. So we down just watching this movie in the car on the way down.
Sorry. Very
It's
negative.
okay.
Was Christy Moore in the movie? Did Christy Moore appear in the movie somehow?
Well, so we downloaded that and we listened to the first, like, I'd say 2.5, 3 hours of it. It's 10 hours. The guy that does the voice of Gollum is the reader of the book. I don't know who he is or what his full name is, but yeah, it's pretty nice, and and that's what we did the last time we kind of went hiking as well. I told Maliki the story of the Lord of the Rings, the first one, and the Fellowship of the Ring. And yeah, so it was really it's a good buzz. It's a good buzz, kind of wandering through forests and just talking about cave trolls and shit like that. It's kind of funny because he does the voice of Gollum in the book, and it definitely is freaking out my younger son a little bit. But anyways,
Is it Andy Serkis? Is that his name or something like
that
that?
is it. That is his name. Well done. Yeah, you pulled that from memory.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and just when you mentioned the first Lord of the Rings, if there's any Lord of the Rings fans out there, when you were saying you were telling your son about the Lord of the Rings, and do you remember in the first one there's the Council of Elrond where the Fellowship is born? You know, have you ever seen the version or that scene where somebody has made every single character? It is the movie, or whatever, but they've just made every character have Arnold Schwarzenegger's face and have every character have Arnold Schwarzenegger's voice, even the background characters. It is one of the funniest fucking things I have ever seen. You know, you'll take the ring. It is fucking class. And then even like, you know, the row breaks out when between the elves and the dwarves. You know, like I won't take orders from an elf or something like that. And then like even the background guys are like making these like indistinguishable Arnie noises. It's fucking hilarious. There's so many memes. Sorry, one.
It's funny that Arnie came to mind. I was chatting with run on about Arnie Classics and Junior, the movie where he has a baby. He was more of a fan of it than I was. I wasn't at all a fan, just because. Go on.
It's a major movie that I'm missing from the Arnie canon. I think I've got quite a good. I've seen nearly the full Arnie canon, but Arnie canon, that sounds like a cool canon. That should be a canon actually. But I mean this in the literary sense, and like I've watched one recently called True Lies. You probably remember that one, but I haven't seen it.
Yes, I do. That's got a famous female actress in it. True Lies. Who's the female actress in that?
Andy Serkis.
Column. Yeah.
No, it's Jamie Lee Curtis.
Jamie Lee Curtis, that was it, yes. Thanks, though. Thanks for fucking leaving me hanging there. Jesus, you just fucking hung me out to dry.
It's a fantastic film. I love True Lies. I really, genuinely love the movie. It's not, I don't even love it. Like, you know.
Is that where the machine gun falls down the steps and it stays shooting people? Is that True Lies?
Yes.
I remember.
It's so good. Like it's an action movie, but like it's a caper movie. It's a caper movie. That's one of the caper elements of it. But it's also a love story, like one of the better love stories, you know, in an action movie that I've seen.
God, I might add it to the holiday movie repertoire.
Well, yeah, it's not really suited for kids though.
Well, not for kids, obviously. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
No, I'm surprised we're getting through The Hobbit, man. Yeah. So that's that's why it's like it's not that bad doing 16 kilometers. It's not that much. I think people are fucking really crazy with hiking, man. I think you have me as the ultimate, like, but that's because you haven't gone beyond this room. You really need to hang out with more people that are not hosting their podcasts in back kitchens, leaning on fucking washing machines.
So you're in the social sense and also athletic sense, you're describing yourself as my false horizon. Is that it? Kind of thing. You're like a is it a false summit or something like that? Is that what you are?
Yeah,
You're
exactly,
like, so you're saying there's another summit beyond you that I can't see right now.
There's many summits. Yeah. Don't worry. But I'm going to bring you. I'm going to bring you closer to some of those summits this summer.
Do I have to walk there? Do I have to hike? I don't want to do that.
So is your ideal holiday just like staying in one place?
Well, I'm happy to move from place to place if those places are in very close proximity.
So
if somebody told me, if a travel agent came to me and was like, "Hey, want to go on a holiday? One of the days you're going to walk 16 kilometers," I'm like, no thanks.
Okay, but we went to Croatia together. That was not. That was exact. That's a hiking holiday. That's the equivalent of a hiking holiday, except on a boat.
So not a hiking holiday.
So like you are punishing yourself to get to the next. It's like it's hard work to get to the next point of rest, and yet you did that, but you won't walk to. I don't know what's the difference.
Yeah, I think you were about to get there. So the hiking is so boring. Walking, it's such an everyday mundane task that I don't enjoy doing. Whereas the kayaking, you're out in the ocean. It's a very different kind of vibe. It's not something you do every day. And I just was like, well, I can walk. I can walk anywhere. I can't kayak anywhere. And also being out in the ocean as well. Now, look, do you know what? You're probably right. If the scenery is nice, it does add a different component to it. But at the end of the day, you are walking. Maybe I could get a piggyback. Is that an option?
Yeah, we'll see. It's coming up soon, man. It's not long now till we test those hammies.
Don't
push
do
those
that.
calves. I'm going to show a whole new world, Ed. A whole new world.
Yeah, we're going to steal another. We're going to steal another march on our holiday.
Excuse me.
So we've 8 minutes. We've 8 minutes. Less than 8 minutes left. Yeah,
seven.
Countdown has begun.
Okay. All right.
What can we talk about? Speed round. Speed dating round. What can we talk about? Quick. What else did you do? I'll tell you what I did. I went to the gym. I joined the gym for the first time ever. I've never joined a gym before. So I joined the gym.
Congratulations.
And thanks. And it's I like it, I think. And I did a class. This is the first time I've done exercise where somebody has been shouting at me to do better. Since I played GA, which is probably, I don't know how many years ago, and probably 15 years ago, I'd say. So this is the first time I've done an exercise where there's an external like force, you know what I mean, of encouragement.
But they're a motivating force. They're not the come on, motivating. Bro, you useless fucker.
You're a fucking
you stupid fucking blind bastard.
You should have been like Edward Sebastian Bach, who died at 2.5, being blind and deaf, would have played better than you.
Just run. I was just slating your hurling skills, man. It's just like,
actually, do you know what? There's a song that does be sang in the session every Thursday night, and I'm in Limerick, and it's the Galtee Mountain Boy, and they always request it. And last night I sang it, or because there's one of the elder statesmen, let's say, of the village, and he's got he's got pride of place. He's earned pride of place, let's say, in everybody's affections and all that sort of stuff. So he comes every Thursday, and he's a really cool dude. And he's the guy whose 90th birthday I was at. One of his favorite songs. He's got a couple of favorite songs. He's got a couple of songs he requests every Thursday night. One of those is the Galtee Mountain Boy. But Tipper playing Limerick this weekend in Thurles, I think it is. They're so cocky now. Limerick are so cocky with the hurling. And speaking of someone who doesn't really care, I still get the it's from Tip, let's make him sing the Galtee Mountain Boy, because there's lines in there that can be interpreted as a dig or a joke. They don't mean it as a dig or a joke, but there is a certain scenario whereby it could be a dig or a joke. And I think that time could come.
Why? Why is the Galtee Mountain Boy a slight on the Tipperary people?
No, but there's a line in it called "Farewell to Tipperary," sang the Galtee Mountain Boy. So it's like farewell to Tipperary as a hurling team or something like that. I don't know.
We gotta fucking burn this place down, Ed.
I'm cracking the lid on it right now. This is how revolutions start.
How dare they? And if any of those Limerick people have something to say about my county, my premier county, may they burn the depths of the valley of the Trouvé Mountains.
Mm-hmm. Now we're talking. That's what I wanted. That was the fire I wanted from telling you that story. That was exactly it.
Anyway, but you're being motivationally spoken to, and it's working.
Well, I mean, I felt like vomiting, but I think that's probably a good sign. I don't know. Vomiting, but I think if I it'd be so embarrassing to die of a heart attack or something like that in that moment. Like, I think I'd die. I think if I felt a heart attack coming on, I'd be so embarrassed. I'd die of embarrassment before the heart attack could get me. I'd be like, oh my God, it's so embarrassing. And then I'd just be like, dead. And then the doctors would be like, was it a heart attack? They're like, no, he was about to have a heart attack, but he died of embarrassment, actually. That's a possibility, I think, medically.
And your face is just like, ah. And you shit yourself.
Clear. Well, that's a given. That's a given. And yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and but there's this thing I've heard about. My brother-in-law told me about. It's called humble bragging. So it's very hard for me to talk about this without falling into that category of, like, you know what, like humble bragging is when, you know what I mean. You know what?
Have I never heard the term before. Basketball? Have I mentioned how I shoot the hoop sometimes? And
so kind of like that, you know. But this is more like, you know, if somebody goes, oh God, jeez, I thought I was able to do 100 push-ups, but I'm only able to do 99. Fucking so embarrassing, you know, like that. Yeah. That's real case of, you know, humble bragging. That's what I never knew what it was called, but I always knew about it. You know what I mean? That's what it's called, humble bragging. So it's hard for me not to sound like I'm humble bragging. I'll talk about this, but I do find the whole situation funny. That somebody's like, like, come on, oh yeah, another one. I'm like, I just want crisps. Can I have crisps instead of this last push-up?
So what's your plan for this, Ed? Are you twice a week, three times a week, or what's your goals? Have they talked to you about goals?
I've decided whenever I'm off work, I'm going to go and do a class, because I need somebody to be shouting at me. They're not shouting. They're like encouraging. I need somebody to be encouraging me or else I won't go past like my discomfort. You know what I mean? And what my ultimate goal is to be what I've learned is called a high rocks wanker. That's what I want to become. And I'll explain what a high rocks wanker is next week.
You've got okay.
I've got a couple of seconds. I can explain in 20 seconds. Okay, a high rocks wanker is somebody who gets into good physical shape by doing these high rocks classes, which are like circuit training basically, and then finds excuses to take their top off.
Okay.
Now I might just skip the first part. I'll just take my top off, maybe. I don't know.
I guarantee you, Ed, if you can, when you come hiking with me, we're going to high rocks. You're going to be off the rocks. Rock solid. That's what you're going to be. Rock fucking solid, man. That's a guarantee. That's my guarantee to you.
Thank you. That's it. That's all we got time for.
I look forward to hearing about your trips to the gym. Other small news: I drove an electric car for the first time. That's quite exciting.
Nice, but we have to stop now.
It's 59:20, man. Why do they don't like beyond 59:22?
We have a 30-second jingle.